Hi, Luke Zimmerman, and I am going to talk about the Tech Enhanced Classroom. I talked with three instructors, a French teacher, an English teacher who also teaches creative writing, and does some teaching coaching, teacher coaching, instructional coaching, and then a studio arts instructor. The first question that I asked was, what does tech mean to you? And the real emphasis for all three, like solid organizational efficiency, but it also creates options for instruction, and it increases access for the students. That was an important thing for one of the teachers in particular who shares everything slides online, is in the process of getting video to kind of videotape every lecture, every class period, so it can be posted online. Second question: what tech are you using? One of the pieces of technology is a smartboard, which is a projected image on a special panel. You have these pens that you can write with. They don't actually write on the panel. It's picked up by the projector, and then it saves as part of an image as a slide set. And you can change those over. It becomes important. It's an efficiency thing, and it means you can go through a lot of content. Video, slides, music. And there was an interesting conversation in the art room, in the art conversation about technology. And I'd gone in kind of thinking it's either digital computing technology or there's no technology. But if you think about all the art stuff, all the things that are in that room that are being used for technical processes, they are all this. There's a technology that there's a history behind. It's been centuries of iteration to come up with these tools that are efficient. So then the next question is, why do you use these tools? And there was a few different answers, some of which were like, well, this is what they want us to use. It's really easy to use this. But the one that really struck me is the French teacher who talked about just these immersive things, which we'll talk about in a moment. She talked about how when you have technology, you can be really strategic about the technology you're using. And if you have images and a smartboard where you're kind of pushing images around and writing in different colors and video, then your this matters. Like your students who are learning from visual input, they're picking up on stuff. If you've got music playing, your auditory learners. If you're up and walking around pretending like you're in Paris and doing this virtual tour, your kinesthetic learners, and on and on. So the idea was that you can really be strategic with this technology and hit all of these different learning tendencies. So examples. It was a conversation with the art teacher about Photoshop, the way that they use Photoshop, and which I think is interesting because we talked about the arc of a project and how so much of a project. So if you're doing a painting, maybe there's some images that you use here, but in this arc of this painting, it's all very much not computing technology. It's all human technology, or traditional technology. And then it's right at the end that you get this, that we're going to jump into Photoshop. So we're going to take a photo, we're going to take care of this thing in Photoshop, and we're going to post these things online onto an online portfolio. So while there wasn't a ton of technology, the technology was really important nuts and bolts stuff. It was giving students really solid tools, which I thought that was nice. It was an important way to use technology, even though it wasn't a significant part of the course. Then I talked about access to technology, which is a real pinch point. Each department shares a Chromebook cart. And I didn't find out how many Chromebooks were on a cart, but it's definitely not enough for an entire department. And so when you have 5, 6, 7 or more classes ongoing in a department at any time, and you have to share one Chromebook cart, that means that people are reserving Chromebooks, and access is inconsistent. and it means if a student needs to take one home because they don't have a Chromebook at home, they're not going to be able to do that. They don't have access to these things outside of class. So that's a significant pinch point. Phones are a big deal. Pinterest, which is a complicated thing for some art teachers, but Pinterest, Instagram get used quite a lot. Yeah, this pinch point was a big deal, and then I asked about concerns, and they immediately said access, consistent access. And then finally, we talked a little bit about integration, like how integrated do you feel this is? And the French teacher felt like her stuff is fairly integrated. I'd say it's like a solid 4. I was really surprised at how integrated that was, and that's why I'm going to talk a little bit about that as an assignment. What she does is she has these ongoing videos, and they're set up as these virtual tours of Paris, and so you're moving through Paris, kind of set at a walking pace, and you can talk about what you're seeing. We're going here. Oh, let's go left. We're going to go down here by the boulangerie, and we're going to get a croissant on moi, and then we're going to go to the museum, and they can go into the Louvre and look at paintings in the Louvre. And they can take notes, and they're writing and moving images around on this this magic smartboard. And they've got music playing, and it's a really immersive, surprising thing. And I'm not sure how I translate this into art yet, but there's something there that's really significant, and I think it's going to be difficult to weave in with traditional studio practice. But I was super impressed with how exciting it was and how dynamic it was. So it was a really positive experience.